Coming up on First at 4, government funding is coming to the Big Sandy area. We'll have a look at the projects that will benefit from the federal dollars. Plus, 2 people are arrested in central Kentucky after police found drugs and animals in terrible conditions.
And the heat and humidity is still in the forecast for the next few days. Details in a few minutes.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, the heat and humidity will sizzle the next several days, and in some places it could feel like triple-digit temperatures. Let's turn things over to meteorologist Eric Dean on this first alert weather day. Eric?
All right, good afternoon, Steve. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, we do have a first alert weather day because of the heat and humidity that's going to be in the forecast for the next few days. We have a heat advisory in effect for Wayne County in West Virginia. Again, Wayne County, West Virginia, heat advisory until tomorrow at 8 p.m. And right now we're seeing temperatures in the low to mid 90s. We're at 93 in Somerset, 92 Irvin, 91 Moorhead, Ashland's at 94. You see a stretch of 90s from Grundy to Pikeville to Jackson to Hazard, Manchester, London, Williamsburg down to Middlesboro. Then you go down to Harlan, Jacksboro, hovering between 92 and 93. But the big story is that heat index. Look at Harlan, 96 in Ashland, 94 in Somerset. This is what it's going to feel like as you step outside. 96 in Lexington, 97 is the feels like temperature in Louisville. And that trend is going to continue to go up as we go into the day on Wednesday and even into Thursday. But right now, live pinpoint Doppler radar is showing a clean sweep across the area. The next 12 hours, though, keeps temperatures in the upper 80s by 7 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, we'll go into the upper 70s and low 80s, and then low 70s by 5 a.m. When you wake up in the morning, we'll see temperatures very mild. How about temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s? Now, the good news is there is some relief on the way, and we'll talk about that in the first alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
All right, Eric, thank you. Congressman Hal Rogers says the future of eastern Kentucky depends on long-term investment. Discussing some of his most recent plans and priorities today in Floyd County, WYMT's Buddy Forbes was in Prestonsburg for the congressman's chat with local leaders.
Congressman Hal Rogers visited eastern Kentucky today, making a stop in the Big Sandy to speak with the area's leaders about updates from Washington and plans for future funding. Rogers joined the Big Sandy Area Development District for a lunch meeting, discussing everything from inflation to homeland defense. The congressman brought up Big Sandy's specific needs and resources, reiterating the nearly $150 million he has earmarked for the region, which will be considered next month to potentially be included in the 2025 budget.
To explain to them many of the grant programs that we're helping them with to build a better water system or a sewage system or relief from the terrible flooding of 2 years ago.
With topics ranging from flood recovery to the upcoming Shaping Our Appalachian Region Summit, Congressman Rogers says it was great to be back in the mountains to discuss the work that is still going on here in eastern Kentucky. In Prestonsburg, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Congressman Rogers was also my guest on Issues and Answers last night. You can see that on our website. Officials say it is nice to have a meeting to get everyone on the same page, working toward the same goals, something the area development districts are always working to facilitate. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and former Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard are the newest members of Donald Trump's transition team. Kennedy and Gabbard both endorsed Trump recently. In a statement, Trump's senior advisor Brian Hughes said they're looking forward to Kennedy and Gabbard's, quote, powerful voices on the team as we work to restore America's greatness, end quote. Kennedy suspended his independent run for the White House last Friday. Now, despite that, RFK Jr. will be on Kentucky's presidential ballot this fall. Secretary of State Michael Adams said yesterday a review of the candidates' paperwork is complete. Kentucky will still be one of several states where Kennedy is still on the ballot. Today marks the 18th anniversary of the 2006 plane crash at Bluegrass Airport in Lexington. Comair Flight 5191 crashed and killed 49 people, many of them Kentuckians. The pilot of Flight 5191 prepared for takeoff on the wrong runway. The runway was too short and the plane crashed. The only person who survived was co-pilot Jim Polhinky. The incident caused Bluegrass Airport to make changes. Short runways no longer intersect with longer ones. A drug investigation led police to dozens of dogs living in deplorable conditions. 2 people are now facing charges. Harrodsburg police arrested 47-year-old Kenneth Brawner and 52-year-old Gabriella Fulmer. Both are facing drug-related charges along with animal cruelty and torture of a dog or a cat. When police searched their home, they found 34 dogs. More than 24 of them were taken to the Mercer County Animal Shelter.
Several have neurological issues. The older dogs have possibly some skin issues that will need to be attended to. But for the most part, they were fed and everything's fine. It's just the actual conditions of the facility that was scary.
Police say they found drugs and drug paraphernalia, including meth, pipes, baggies, currency, and a crystal-like substance in the home. They also say they found something that appeared to be fentanyl. $50,000 is now being offered in the case of Sebastian Rogers. The 15-year-old with autism has not been seen in 6 months. He was last seen in February at his Hendersonville home wearing all black. Investigators say there's no evidence pointing to foul play or ruling it out either. But advocates for Sebastian are hopeful the reward being offered will help move the case forward.
You can't just disappear. Your kid doesn't vanish. There's something, there's someone, so we'll find it. With everybody struggling right now and the economy being so bad, I feel like if somebody knows something, 50 grand is a lot to push somebody into saying something.
Sebastian, again, 15 years old, and this is out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. He's about 5'5" with blonde or light brown hair. People with tips should contact the FBI. A very special event is happening today in the Bluegrass, especially for Dolly Parton fans. At 4:55, less than an hour away, Governor Beshear and his wife will live stream a celebration of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library in Kentucky, and Dolly will be featured in the event. The Imagination Library is her effort to bring books to children everywhere, and we hope to have more coverage of this later tonight, especially tonight at 11. But coming up on First at 4, it is time for football practice once again, but the heat can be dangerous for student athletes. A look at how one school is keeping its players safe.
Temperatures right now are in the upper 80s and low 90s, and the heat's going to stay in the forecast for a bit. Details in a few minutes.